What's up, clever masterminds? Clever Boy 86 here. And since the new Star Wars movie, Solo, A Star Wars Story, just came out, I figured I'd have Dad talk a little bit about his history with Star Wars, because the original Star Wars trilogy came out when Dad was a kid, and he's a really big fan of Star Wars. So I figured I'd have Dad talk a little bit about his history with Star Wars. So yeah, anyways, let's get this vlog started. Alright, Dad, so what are some of your first memories of Star Wars?
Well, I'm Star Wars OG, original geek, because when the first Star Wars movie came out, I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I remember very vividly going to that with my dad, your grandfather. He took me to see that in a theater in Montana, right after it had come out, and so I grew up with all that, all from the time I was 7 or 8 up until, the first 3 movies.
Yeah, and you were like a big fan.
Oh, a huge fan, and I collected all the stuff, all the toys, and I used to draw when I was younger, and I drew scenes from the movie and stuff like that, and I watched them, well, not over and over because I lived in a small town, and this is before VCRs or anything, so it wasn't until years later, when I got the first 3 movies on VHS tape that I watched them over and over again.
Yeah. Do you remember going to see like Empire Strikes Back?
Not as much as I remember the first one. I don't remember. I remember kind of where I saw it, but it's not as vivid, as seeing the first one.
Yeah. So like you collected like Star Wars like action figures.
Yes, I collected the action figures and the toys and stuff. I had all the stuff they made. I had a big plastic Millennium Falcon and a
Cool.
big tall Death Star and
Cool.
all that stuff. So it was awesome.
So when did you get them, like the VHS tapes?
That was a gift from my sister, your aunt, and she gave those to me. Probably want to say the late '80s or early '90s or something.
Yeah.
Whenever they were doing box set of VHS tapes still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about then, and I had those for years and rewatched them and stuff. So.
Yeah.
And I'd seen the movies in between then and when I had a number of times, but the way that we rewatch movies nowadays, it just wasn't possible then,
Yeah.
So yeah. It was an incredibly important part of my childhood.
Yeah. What about the prequels? What did you think of the prequels?
Well, by the time the prequels were coming out, I was married to your mother and living in New York, and you had just been born, or
When did they come out?
I forget the years now, but or it was just before you were born or whatever. I remember going to see some of them. I saw them all in theaters. I know the theater right across the street from where we lived. Yeah, I don't really, I've seen them all exactly once. I wasn't impressed with a single one of them, and It was a huge disappointment. So,
Yeah.
just kind of.
And then I remember you introduced me to Star Wars when I was I think I was 9 when I watched the first one.
Yeah, probably.
And I loved it. I remember we watched the original trilogy, right? Because I got a Star Wars Blu-ray box set that had the prequels and the original trilogy. So it was the first 6 movies. And Dad introduced me to the original trilogy when I was 9. And and we went and saw The Force Awakens in theaters together, right?
Right.
So what did you think about The Force Awakens?
I liked it. You know, I've liked everything. I've liked all the new stuff, the spin-offs. You know, Rogue One, and we haven't seen Solo yet. As you know, we're going to see that probably this week sometime. I understand that the reviews aren't as good, but I don't care. I'm optimistic about it. I think I'll enjoy it nonetheless. I think everything that has been done since the prequels, the last few, are good and on. They're they're really good. They're very strong movies, on par with the original. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not groundbreaking because the originals were already done.
What did you think of The Last Jedi?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good movie. A little bit sad, you know, Luke dying and stuff, and that. Yeah, but I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. For me, I thought The Last Jedi was a little bit disappointing just because, you know, Luke died and Han Solo got killed in The Force Awakens. And I don't know, I just kind of expected Luke to survive. And just like him being like, oh, he doesn't want to, like, be a Jedi anymore. I just didn't really like that storyline. That was kind of disappointing for me. But it was okay, you know, I enjoyed it, but yeah. Anyways, we're excited to go see Solo, though. You excited yet?
I am definitely excited about that.
Yeah, like, I have one last question for you.
Sure.
What did you think of the originals, like, as a kid when you first saw them?
Well, they were just, the thing about them is they were just such great stories. It was just like these classic stories, this classic tale of good versus evil, and you know, bad guys and good guys. It had all these elements of just great stories, and it was just, they were so simple, you know. And that was one thing where the prequels really kind of dropped the ball. You know, they became these complex, and you know, the stories were not good. They're not tight like the first few, like the original three. The stories are just really tight and just really good, and especially as a kid, you know, you want that good versus evil, and the good guys winning, and you know, that's what it was like for me as a kid. You know, it was like, it was just like that. You know, like the good guys are the alliance is beating the empire, and that's good. So,
all right. Well, thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Alright guys, so Dad's work schedule has changed over the past couple of weeks, and he's been working nights instead of days. So I figured I'd have him talk about that for the vlog and sort of what that's been like for him. So yeah, anyways, here he is. Alright Dad, so how's your work schedule been the past few weeks?
Well, it's changed pretty much completely because I was working days for a long time. With really only like one night shift. Like I had one weekend night shift, and that was it. So now I work all night shifts, and that's it's a change. It's tough because we're open really late. So a night shift is like about 11 hours long or longer. Sometimes maybe a little less. My shifts average about 11 hours. Start about 5 or 6. So I'm working till anywhere between 3 and 5 in the morning most nights.
So how have you gotten used to that?
It's hard. It's hard to adjust my sleeping. I'm just trying to sleep more. You know, I try and sleep more in the day and stay awake more at night.
Yeah.
And just try and keep that sort of same schedule so I now have 2 days off, which is better. I only had 1 day off before. My shifts are a little bit longer, so I have the same amount of hours. But it's good. It's been hard. It's been a hard adjustment. Just trying to get used to the schedule, but I'm getting there. So.
Yeah. Do you like your night schedule better or your day schedule?
Excuse me. I like. There's good to both. I like driving. It's easier to see during the day, just from the traffic and stuff. But there's also more traffic, and and really late at night, it's like there's no traffic, so that's kind of good. You know, you don't have to wait so much for driving. But in the days, it's easier to see where you're going and read the signs and all that. So, there's good and bad in each. There's good things of both, but I generally make more money at night and stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. I'm going to end the vlog here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been making an effort to do longer vlogs. I've been trying to do vlogs that are over 10 minutes now that it's summer and I'm just hanging out at home. I've been trying to do longer vlogs for you guys. So, hope you guys have been enjoying the longer vlogs. I'm gonna try and keep that up. Anyways, I'm gonna end the vlog here. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you all for the next one. Alright, bye guys.